This morning, Commanders Camp continues in Ashburn, Virginia, and as the official TV station of the Commanders, you know we've got that in-depth coverage for you. Of course, all the big news coming out of camp.
This morning, it's day 2 of open camp for the Washington Commanders, and that means long lines if you're hoping to get a good spot once you're inside the training facility. So to check on the home team ahead of the season, you know folks and fans are out there. Wisdom is there too, reporting from Commanders Park. Wiz, players broke out the pads yesterday, so some big hitting expected again today at practice.
Right. This is day 2 of the fan experience and day 2 of the players with the pads on. So this is huge. We heard Dan Quinn talk about it yesterday before practice about how important this was and some of the things that they were going to work on. So let's bring in Locked On Commanders podcast host David Harrison right now to talk about the practice experience with pads on from yesterday. What stood out in your mind from what you saw yesterday when they finally put those pads on?
Honestly, what you really love is the ramping up intensity, right? That's always kind of the biggest thing with adding the pads, and you love getting that opportunity. The linemen love that opportunity. The running backs love that opportunity, but also maintaining the brotherhood, right? Like remembering that they're all out there to make each other better, not just go out there and collide into each other for no reason. And sometimes you see some padded practices, especially the first one in training camps, where guys kind of forget their teammates sometimes and maybe they go a little bit overboard. But this team, like, very controlled, and it was very kind of intensive, and that's not really a word, but
right.
You know, like they kept it about the mission and kept it about making each other better, which is really encouraging.
Did anybody stand out on offense in your mind? We'll start with offense first, and then we'll get to defense. But starting on offense, did anybody stand out?
Yeah, Brandon Coleman, the tackle last year, moved inside guard this year, was someone I was really watching closely. And, up and down day, right? Won some reps, lost some reps. But the really cool thing is we got a chance to talk to him after practice yesterday, and he mentioned how very first rep that he went up against Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw, the veteran D lineman, has been around for a little bit, just smoked him, just completely owned him. He came back to me and said, man, like you just destroyed me on that. And Javon gave him some advice, coached him up in the moment, made him better. And that's kind of what we're talking about, is like a D lineman, O lineman, natural enemies in nature, right? But here they are helping each other out. And that's a really cool moment and a really cool thing to know is going on with the team.
All right, you mentioned D lineman. What stood out to you on defense?
On defense, I mean, this secondary, a lot of people had questions about the secondary. Was Marshawn going to be better this year? How good was Trey Amos going to be, et cetera, all down the line? They're looking really good. And not only are they looking good, they're communicating really well. I noticed at one point in time, standing on the sideline, even with the music, even with the fans, you can just hear them chirping at each other and just getting each other in line. There's no argument. There's no, what are you talking about? I'm over here. Everybody's in sync. Everybody's listening, and it's being very effective.
And that speaks to the culture and what's going on around here, the change in atmosphere.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's 2 years in the making now, right? The great thing is last year this time we were watching this team create the culture and create the standard and find it and figure out who they're going to be. This year the Commanders know who they are. So Trey Amos is coming into a team that knows what the standard is. Now you just got to become a part of it, and the veterans that are coming in, same type of thing. But that culture is really starting to affect how quickly this team starts to ramp up.
All right, David Harrison, Locked On Commanders podcast. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. He's going to go inside and cover the team. We are going to move inside as well. The fans are going to move inside. Big day out here at Commanders Park. Let's go back inside now and check in on weather with Jonathan.